Hello, good evening and good morning, everybody. My name is Faiza Alam. I am a NetSuite functional consultant at BISP Solutions, and I welcome you all on the webinar series of inventory management. We are on day 3 right now. From day before yesterday, we have started it. And on day 1, we have an introductory session, under which we get to know about the introduction of inventory management. After that we will new after that sorry we have come to know that how an item master can be created under our NetSuite application. There are various kinds of items that are item records that are used. uh, Along with that, we have also seen some more features and got to know about that, and today we'll be knowing some other more important features of inventory management. So our today's agenda would be these topics. First, we will look at the inventory workflows. Then we'll move towards reviewing negative inventory, that how can we review the inventories that are negative. Then we will know about how the stock levels are assessed, and what are the various terminologies that are used for knowing the for assessing the stock levels in the NetSuite application. And then at last we will know about the inventory adjustment, which is one of the important concern, like how the inventory can be adjusted, as where there are various scenarios in which an inventory is required to be adjusted. So we will be looking at that. So these are the topics that we will be covering today. So we'll start with the inventory workflow. So as discussed earlier, we have already knew that the goal of inventory management is to get the products to the customer in the shortest period of time and at the lowest cost. And further, this helps in maintaining the quality and customer service. Along with that, it also helps in taking the proper business decisions. So one of the way to achieve it is a continuous examination of our inventory workflow processes and acting on the analysis. If I talk about the processes that are involved in the inventory workflow, so there are various processes that are involved. First is purchasing, then we have receiving, and manufacturing is there. After that, we have the selling option under the process flow. Then we have fulfilling, and then replenishing. So these are the various processes that are involved in the workflow. And this workflow is a cycle of procuring and then selling it to the customer. In order to analyze these processes, we should understand the function of each process. I will tell you about each process. So the first process is purchasing. So in that, purchase orders are created to acquire items and materials to stock and sell. Tracking purchases helps to maintain replenishment decisions, such as what items to stock and sell, what items are expected to be purchased, when to expect such items, and how much to order. So we can view the quantity on order on item records and on reports if we talk about the purchasing. So purchase orders are very much required for tracking the proper quantity that is required by our business. The next process is receiving. So when vendors ship products we are ordered, uh, we enter an item receipt, and then we added it to our inventory. Then it is accounted as an asset when we are having the receiving of the item. That item gets recorded into our inventory asset account. So each receipt updates the inventory to show the accurate stock level. So if we follow this proper process or proper flow, so the accounting will be more easy for us. The other process is manufacturing. After items and materials are being received, we gather the components of various kits and groups and assemble it for the purpose of production before selling it into the market. Along with that, we can also identify items and transactions with barcodes in order to process them more quickly and efficiently. These barcodes and all are the parts of advanced inventory management. So for manufacturing purposes, barcodes are used for easy identification. The other feature is selling, like similar to purchasing, like when we should prepare create or enter a purchase order for the items that we require, so that we will use it in our production process. So similarly, when the product is already produced or created into our business, so the next process is we have to sell it. So selling is the next process after manufacturing. So sales orders are created for it, and sales order, as soon as we enter the sales order, the inventory gets automatically updated. Like it when we place an order, when we place a sales order, so items get decreased from our inventory, just opposite to the purchasing. So it gets decreases from our inventory. And if there are certain circumstances in which we are uh, we are selling those items, we are making sales order for those items that are not available into our inventory, so our back order level gets increased. There is also a back order scenario. I will be telling you about this. So if we sell such items that are not available in the stock and we have committed it on our sales order, so in that case that back order level of our inventory gets increased. So this is about the selling process. The next process is fulfilling. So fulfillment physically takes the item out of our inventory and ships them to the customer. The effect of each fulfillment on our stock is automatically updated. Whenever any process takes place, the record gets automatically, the inventory gets automatically updated, and it will be helpful for our accounting process. So the effect of each fulfillment is automatically updated. Fulfilling items decreases the quantity on hand and inventory asset value. So it decreases both. Like, as we are fulfilling the order, as we are providing goods or items to the customer, so definitely there would be a decrease into our inventory. So it decreases the quantity on hand. Along with that, the inventory asset value also gets decreases by the process of fulfillment. And the last step and the last process is replenishment. So replenishment is, like, if we have the proper knowledge of replenishment needs, so we can very well and we can very efficiently manage our inventory. And proper knowledge of replenishment needs is an important function for streamlining our inventory. Under replenishment, we examine or analyze our inventory needs and identify the products and ideal quantities to order. Like under replenishment also, if we get to know that these much quantities are required and these are not available, so we have to order some more, or we have to build some more inventory. So we can do that if we are having the proper knowledge of our replenishment needs. So this is about the purchasing, receiving, manufacturing, selling, fulfilling, and replenishing. And you can see that all these processes are, automatically, required for the purpose of reporting everything. Either we are required purchasing, though purchase order and sales order are not the posting transaction, but still, these things are required for the purpose of reporting. Whenever we are receiving the goods, so we have to make an accounting record of it, or it will be automatically updated. NetSuite automatically make updates for that. And if we are fulfilling it, definitely our inventory is decreasing, so its reporting is required. If we are introducing some more items to our inventory by getting proper knowledge of replenishment, so that also requires reporting. So all these processes ultimately requires reporting, and all these are done so that the business can take the decisions efficiently relating to sales and purchase. So this is about the inventory workflow. So we are done with our first part, that is inventory workflow. Our next concern is review negative inventory. So, we can identify any inventory values that are negative into our business, and it can be corrected by adjusting it to be positive. So, let me show you how can we review this negative inventory. So, this is my NetSuite dashboard. For reviewing negative inventory, we have to go into transactions, inventory. Here we have the option of review negative inventory. So here we can see the inventory that is, negative. So you can see the as of date is mandatory field. We have to pick a date for it, like for which or for which way do we want to see the negative inventory. Here we have to provide the location. So you can see that the US Riverside location is already been taken up. The items that are available on this location and their subsidiary and their quantity that is negative. You can see that this location and this item has -2, means this is a negative inventory. Since it is showing with a minus, so it is a negative inventory. So we can have a view of this negative inventory by going over here, and it can be adjusted with the help of adjustment. Like if I want to change any other location, so I will be changing the location. Like if I take here this Canadian corporate office. So since no negative inventory is associated with this location, so you can see that here no record is shown. If I go into some other location, this location also has no record. Okay. If I take this Germany Deutsch, so here you can see that for this location, that is subsidiary for Germany, these items, that is anti-spyware, desktop setup, and MacGyver, has -2 to negative inventories. Since the this location, any particular location, if any particular location has certain amount of negative inventory, so it will be shown to us like this. And if no record is there, so it will give us a pop-up as no record to show. So for Germany Deutsch location, we have for these items, that is for subsidiary Germany, we have these quantities that are negative, so we can review it from here, and we can change the date also, that date we require. So in this manner, we can review the negative inventory. The other way of, having a look at the negative inventory, so we can go into reports under inventory items. We have to go into physical inventory worksheet. So this is the physical inventory worksheet that provides us the details of all the items that are available on hand and what is their physical count. So you can see that this is for Germany. Subsidiary Germany. If I want to view any other subsidiary, like if I want to view Canada for 6th of July, I'm not changing the date. I will click on refresh. So here you can see that for subsidiary Canada, there is no record for any review negative inventory. Let's take some other inventory. If I take here this US West. So here you can see that this 8 port 10 by 100 desktop switch has a negative inventory of 2 items that is available on hand. You can see that this is the only quantity that is available as a -1 for US West. Along with that, we also have some Linksys wireless access point that is available as a negative inventory. So in this way, we can, have a view of our physical inventory. Like if I take some other subsidiary, if I take America and click refresh. So no negative inventories are associated with this subsidiary. So the my purpose is to show you that how can we view or how can we review the negative inventories if any negative inventory is there, and if we want to adjust it or change it, so we can change it with the help of inventory adjustment option. And these negative inventories are required to be changed to positive while recording into the reports. So for having a view of the reviewing negative inventory, let me show you once again where can we go. We have to go into transactions inventory, and here we have the review negative inventory option. Along with that, we can also view our negative inventories if there is any. So we can view the physical inventory worksheet report by going into reports, inventory and items. Here we have the physical inventory worksheet. This provides us the detail of all the quantity that is available on hand for any other items. If the inventories are positive, it will show us the positive values. If the inventory is negative, so it will show you as is. So this is about the review negative inventory. Our next concern is assessment of stock level, or how can we assess the stock level. So the stock levels should be assessed, or we should have a proper knowledge of our inventory records. There are various jargons or keywords that are used in our NetSuite for having an accurate knowledge of our inventory. But before that, we should know why this assessment is required. Like, take an example over here. If stock of an item is too low, then order to delivery cycle time increases, and this can negatively affect the customer service and also the reputation of the business. And on the other hand, if stock of an item is too high, so then overhead and cost of the business gets increased. So, a proper balance should be maintained, an optimum level of stock should be maintained. Like, we should be aware of the proper replenishment needs. Like, we should know that how much quantity do we require, what amount of quantity do we require, when to order and when to reorder, when to make the supply of goods. So all these knowledge are very much required, and this can be done when the stock level is properly assessed. So there are various terms that are used under the stock level assessment. So first is quantity on hand. So it is concerned with the number of items that are physically available in the warehouse. Like, the quantity that is available physically available in the warehouse comes under the quantity on hand. The other term is quantity available. So quantity available is concerned with the quantities in the warehouse that is not scheduled on any of the sales order. It means that it is available in the warehouse, but it is not scheduled. It is not used on any of the sales order given by the customer. The next term is quantity committed. So it is concerned with the quantity that is promised to customer that are yet to be fulfilled. Means quantity committed means we have promised it that to our customer that we will be providing, or we will be giving you this quantity, but the order is not fulfilled yet. The quantity is still in your warehouse. We have just promised to our customer, and the quantity is still uh, exist into your inventory. So this is the quantity committed. The next term is quantity on order. So this is the quantity that is on approved purchase order that has a pending receipt from the vendor. If I talk about the quantity on order, so this is the quantity that is approved, that is under the approved process, but its receipt is being pending. It is not received from the vendor. We have not received it, so that comes under the quantity to order. Sorry, quantity on order. The next term is quantity to order. So it is concerned with the quantity that is available minus preferred stock level. So that comes under the quantity to order. The other term is quantity back ordered. So this is the quantity that is committed to sales for which there is no stock to fulfill the order. So that comes under the back ordered. Just I have told you that under the selling, if we are using certain quantities on the sales order and it is not available into our inventory, so that comes under the back order quantity. That increases the quantity of back ordered items. So back orders are the ones that are we have promised it, we have committed it to the sales order, but these items or these units are not available into our stock in order to fulfill the order. Then the last term that is an important concern is reorder point. So quantity level at which we need to place an order to replenish stock or build more of this item. This reorder point, I would say, is a kind of a replenishment under which, if we get to know that like this much quantity is required for production or for selling purpose and it is not available, so we have to build some more orders, we have to add some more items to our inventory. So in that case, the reorder point is required. So the quantity level at which we need to place an order to replenish the stock and build more inventory comes under the reorder point. So all these points are required for making the assessment of our stock level. We should be aware of these terms like quantity on hand, quantity available, quantity committed, and we should have a proper clarity of what are these terms about. Like what I mean, how the quantity on hand appears in the item record. So we can have the view of these terms into our item records, and they can also be used for our reports also. So we are done with the assessment of stock level. Our next concern is inventory adjustment. So inventory adjustment are the manual adjustment of an item's inventory by a store user in order to mark items as available or unavailable. It can also be used to decrease available saleable stock when items are found to be damaged. Like, if due to some errors or due to some uncertainties, we come to know that the inventory, should be adjusted. So at that time, we can use the inventory adjustment option. Uh, it can also be entered for items that are accounted for clerical errors, changes in cost, theft, damage, and there are various other scenarios and various other reasons in which we find that we have to adjust it. So we can do that. If we talk about the NetSuite, so under the NetSuite application, two ways are required in which we can adjust the inventory. So the first is we can adjust the inventory with the help of adjust inventory forms that enables us to change the quantity and value of an inventory item without entering a purchase order. And one more thing to note here is that for serialized or for lot numbered items, this inventory adjustment forms are used. Uh, This is the first way. The other way in the NetSuite application for the purpose of inventory adjustment is inventory worksheets. So inventory worksheets enables us to enter changes to the quantity or value of inventory if we want to add or reduce certain quantities from for our for any item. So we can do that with the help of worksheet also. And the inventory worksheets are used for adjusting inventory for the items other than lot numbered items or serial numbered items or inactive items. Like we cannot take the help of inventory worksheet for lot numbered, serial numbered or inactive items. Rather, for serial and lot numbered items, we can take the help of adjust inventory forms. So this is about the if we want to differentiate between how what is the difference between adjust inventory form and inventory worksheet, so we can say that the for in inventory adjust inventory forms, It is done for serial or lot numbered items, but for inventory worksheets, we cannot use the serial numbered or lot numbered items. Along with that, we can also not use the inactive items. So this is about the inventory adjustment. Now we'll move on to the NetSuite application to see how can we adjust the inventory. So for adjusting inventory, we have to go into transactions, inventory. Here we have the option of adjust inventory. I'll go into list. So you can see that these are the various inventory adjustment that have been made. If we want to view any of it, so we can view it. So this is the inventory adjustment that is made for this item. Some mandatory fields are there that are required. Okay, so now I want to enter a new inventory adjustment. So I will click on this new transaction. So this is the inventory adjustment form. And I have just told you now that the inventory adjustment form is used for serialized and not numbered items. So you can see the form is already been selected. The first thing that we have to do is we have to select a subsidiary, like for which subsidiary are we making this adjustment. So I'm taking here Canada. Along with that, you can see that this adjustment account is a mandatory field. So we have to create a separate account for this inventory adjustment. So that these transactions could get recorded into this account. So this is a 5942 inventory adjustment account that is created for this purpose. As I have not mentioned any amount, so it is showing like this. Date is already been populated 6th July. If we want to change the date, so we can change it. Posting period is taken up as per the date. If we want to provide any memo for it, so we can provide it. Along with that, if we want to provide any class or department, we can provide it. Here, this adjustment location. So the locations that are associated with this subsidiary Canada, we have two options. So I am taking here this 11 Canadian warehouse. Now, the important part of it is we have to select an item that we want to make adjustment for. So here I am taking this geo cables, where here we have to provide the location. So here I am taking this location. You can see that the quantity on hand that is available that we have discussed just now, you can see that the quantity that is available with this location, US location, is 150. So if we want to adjust it, so here I am adjusting it for only 50 units. So the new quantity that has arrived is 150. The quantity on hand plus adjusted quantity. So the total quantity for this 11 Canadian warehouse is 200. And we have to configure inventory detail here also. So we have to select a serial or lot numbered here. And this item is also associated with certain bins. That is why you can see that the bin number is already populated, that geo cables, are using bins. This is the bin number that is using. So I have mentioned a serial number, serial or lot numbered for it. I will mention the quantity that I am adjusting. 50, that is 50. Now I will click on add. I will click OK. Now you can see this green check mark. This is an indication that the inventory detail has been checked. I click on add. Okay. So as I have, adjusted the quantity for one amount, similarly, if we want to, so we can add some more items to it. So I will take another item here. If I take this, and I'm taking it for this 11 Canadian warehouse. So you can see the already available quantity, that is quantity on hand is 100. I want to add some 10 units of it. So you can see now that the available quantity with this ADSL modem router is the new quantity that has arrived is 110 units. Again, we have to configure the detail of inventory. And as opposed to it, just like geo cables are using our was a serialized inventory item. This item is a simple item that uses bin. So here I have to mention the bin. So here I am taking this Canada warehouse. I am adjusting the quantity by 10. Now I will click on add and click OK. You can see that this inventory detail has also been configured. Since the previously, if any current value has been provided to this item, to this inventory item, so it has already populated. I do not have to mention it here. And this is the estimated unit per unit cost, that is for per item. So I will click on add. So as we are done with the inventory adjustment form, we have entered it. The first item is a serialized inventory item and the other one is the item that uses bin. So we are done with both these. The new quantity that has arrived after adjustment is for geo cables. Now the available quantity is 200 and modem router has 110 units. Now I will click on save as I have done the adjustments. So now we can see that our inventory adjustment form has been successfully saved. If we go into the GL impact of it. So here you can see as I have selected the inventory adjustment account for it. So it is, already been selected and the inventory asset is getting debited because we are, taking items out of that. That is why for $5,100, this amount gets debited. Sorry, this inventory asset accounts get debited. So in this way, we can see the GL impact. If I go into the system information, so under the system information, we can have the details of what kind of changes has been made to this record and who has done it and what kind of settings have been made. So, currently I have used it. I have made the changes in it and I have adjusted this items inventory. So, under the system information, we can have the view of the information that is, or we can have the details of the things that is done to the record, that is inventory adjustment. So we have seen how can we enter an inventory adjustment. That is the first method of adjusting inventory. Now if I go and see how the inventory can be adjusted by the other way, so for that I have to go into transaction inventory. Here under inventory adjust inventory worksheet, I'll go into list. So these are the inventory worksheets list. This is for two items. Now I will go back to the list. I want to create a new transaction. So here you can see that the form is already been taken up. It is similar. It is quite similar. You will see that it is similar to the previous inventory form, but the things will get changed. We will change. We will take the subsidiary here, Mexico. We have to take the adjustment account. I will take the same account. that is 5942 inventory adjustment account. The main difference between the inventory worksheet and normal inventory adjustment form is, for inventory adjustment form we were not having this option transaction order. So this transaction order consists of two options, that is first transaction in day and last transaction in day. So usually this is concerned with the days of the transaction, and of which by default it is taken up as first transaction in day. So the date is already populated, posting period is here. Now I will be taking here the location that is concerned with this subsidiary. So this is the US Mexican office. Now you can see that if, as I have mentioned, I have selected the subsidiary and location. These things are not available in the inventory adjustment form, but now it is under the inventory worksheets. We have these things available. So the items or the records that are associated with this subsidiary and with this location available to us, you can see that the quantity for the above date is here. So for this Dell Force 10 MXL switch, I am adjusting it by 50 quantity. Okay, so under the new value, what happens? If we are adjusting inventory or the FIFO or the LIFO costing method is used, so NetSuite ignores that method and provide us the value as the average weighted method. Yesterday I told you that by default the costing method that is selected is average weighted average method. And so you can see that the costing method is already populated, that is the weighted average method based on the quantity, and the inventory detail is already been configured. The next item that I will select is this ADSL modem router. I will adjust its quantity by 100, and you can see that the amount is already been populated. But we have to configure it. You can see that this item is using bin, so we have to mention the quantity over here. The status is good shown. And now click OK. Now you can see that this inventory detail has been configured. So, with the help of this inventory worksheet, we can adjust the inventory but just by providing the subsidiary adjustment account and location, and we can have all the items that are associated with that subsidiary available. We do not have to manually take the items and give the required adjusted quantity. Rather, we do not have to mention the value of it, because NetSuite avoids the LIFO and the FIFO method, and it has taken the value that is the average cost, that is the average one. So as per the quantity, the value already automatically populates under the new value. And we can adjust thousands of records at a time. It is a kind of a mass adjustment. We can make the adjustment with the for any item just by providing the proper or correct location and subsidiary. And here you can see we have to mention the quantity that we want to adjust. Okay, let's take some other. If I take this Apple iPad, I am adjusting 10 units of it. You can see the inventory detail has been configured, but the value is not coming. Okay, so I will take some other one. If I take this processor 005 and I adjust its quantity, I will mention the quantity here. It is 10. Now I will click OK. So you can see that I have adjusted these items quantity with the help of inventory worksheets, and its details have been configured also. Now, under the estimated total value, I have told you yesterday that the total value for any item gets automatically calculated by, NetSuite automatically calculates the value, total value by, by the purchase price and the quantity that is available on hand. So here we can see that the estimated total value, or previously 00 was showing over here, but now it is showing the total estimated value of the adjusted items that we have adjusted over here. Now I will click on save. So we got the confirmation that our inventory worksheet has been saved. We have adjusted these three quantity of these three items, of which, and you can see that for processor 005 the quantity that are already available is 470, and the new quantity that have been adjusted is 10. So if we go and check the availability of this processor 005, so it should have 480. We'll go into transaction order management, earliest item availability. So you can see that as I have adjusted, the quantity at Mexican office is 10. So it is showing the available quantity on hand is 10. So in this manner, we can check the availability of any items. So we are done with the inventory adjustment. Here you can see this is the internal ID that has been automatically generated. The amount is here. If we view this worksheet, so you can see the reference number has already been generated. We have made the adjustment for these three items. For processor, with the new quantity, we have seen that for the earliest availability is 10 for this location, that is a Mexican office. So in this way, we can adjust the quantity of our inventory, or we can adjust it as per the requirement. So today we have learned uh, about the inventory workflows that consist of purchasing, receiving, manufacturing, selling, fulfilling, and replenishing. After that, we have seen how the inventory, if there is any negative inventory, so how can we review it by going into transaction inventory and review negative inventory. After that, there is another option for viewing the negative inventory, that is by going into the reports and physical inventory worksheet, so we can have the view of our negative inventory also, since this is a required thing. Like we should know that this much quantity should not be used on the sales order, as it is a negative one. So we can review it, we can have a view of those negative inventories with the help of these two options. After that, we got to know about the at stock levels, the various terminologies that are used for assessing the stock, that is quantity on hand, quantity available, reorder point, and back ordered quantity and all. So we should have a proper and a very clear understanding of such jargons or such stock levels, so that the production process could not get hampered. After that, at last, we have seen how the inventory can be adjusted with the help of with the help of inventory adjustment worksheet and inventory adjustment form. So inventory worksheets, in under the inventory worksheets, we can enter hundred or thousands of records for adjusting inventory at a time. It is a kind of a mass adjustment. So by providing subsidiary location and by providing subsidiary and location, we can adjust the inventory as per our requirement under the inventory worksheet. And if we talk about the inventory adjustment form, so this form is used for adjusting inventory for serial and lot numbered items. And there we have to mention the subsidiary location, and we also have to select the items that we want to make adjustment for. So in this manner, we can have our inventory adjusted. So that's all about today. We are done with these features of NetSuite, important concern, inventory adjustment, inventory workflows, and the assessment of stock level and review negative inventory. So, in case of any questions and consultations, you can write to us at www.bispsolutions.com. Thank you.